let's learn some Python. I'm in the cloud machine, the Linux machine, at the shell. My current directory is my home directory, and I want to make a folder to do some of these examples. So make a directory. I'm gonna make a directory called Python intro. Now I have two directories. The other one was from the prior video. I'm going to go into Python intro. I have no files because I just made it. I'm going to open a simple project, a new Python file called name.py. And this one's just going to be a simple file that asks for a person's name and then says hello to that person. So py is the extension we want to use on our file names for Python. txt would be for just regular notes, but py for Python. So first I'm just going to print the classic, everyone starts programming with hello world, and that's what it looks like in Python. Nano is turning it into colors, which is kind of helpful to see that you're typing everything correctly. Print means show on the screen. This is how you get output from your program. And you need the parentheses and the quotes to make sure that it knows exactly what is printing, where the print starts and stops, and so forth. I'm going to save, Control O, quit, Control X, and you see now I have a file. And to run it, you type Python 3, because we're using version 3, which is the modern version that everybody uses. Python 3 name.py, and there is the result of the code. Going back into the file, if you make a mistake, like you forget to close parentheses, it will have a problem with that. Here I am pressing up, by the way. Up goes through your old commands, up and down. So it's a quick way to go back to a command. Now it is very unhappy with my file because I took out the parentheses, and it's attempting to tell me where it happened, but it's actually quite useless as an error. But anyway, if I go back into the file, hopefully I can find where the error is and fix that. If I forget the quote, for example, then it's a slightly better error. It kind of points to where something is wrong. So I'm going to go back in there and fix that. Okay, that's not really what I want my program to do though. I want my program to say, what is your name? And then it'll print hello to me. So I need to get the name from the user. So this is like the second part of the basic Python. How do you get information and how do you show information? Print allows you to show. To get information, you got to use input. So we'll give a message like enter your name. Put an extra space before the quote so they type their name after the space. And with input, it'll sit there and wait for you to type. I'll show you this. If we just run this code, enter your name. So see how it waited for me and I had to press enter before it continued with the code. Now to actually have it say hello to me, I need to save what the person typed. So I have an input command, but I'm not actually saving what they typed. I'm just ignoring it and printing hello world. I need to save what they typed. So to save, I have to put the result into what we call a variable. It's a name for something. So I'll call it X, I guess. X equal input. That means get the input from the user, but when that's finished, when they press enter, put it into the variable called X. Now you're not going to see any difference at this point because I'm not doing anything with X. So nothing appears to be any different, but technically X exists now. Suppose I just print X. Then you'll see whatever it is I typed. So print X will show Josh. What I finally want though is actually to print hello and then my name. So we have to use what's called string formatting. What's going on here is in the quotes we say hello and then it's kind of like blank. Hello blank. %s means something goes here, specifically a string. Strings are things that have quotes, so like words and things with letters, numbers or whatever. Well, numbers might be not a string, so let's consider a string as words and letters. So %s for a string, and then that blank gets replaced with the actual value of x. So the idea is the person types their name and it's saved as x. Then you put x in the hello, like after the hello. So %s indicates where it goes in the message. This % says what to put for that %s. Put the x in the position of the %s. So for example, I could put more text after the %s, so the name will appear at this position. Enter your name. Hello, Josh. Nice to meet you. So see, it put the variable x, the value, into the place of the %s. We'll do one more thing. We'll ask for the favorite number. What is your favorite number? And I like the number also. So what we're doing here, I'll put an actual blank line. This is %d because we expect it to be number, or digit, d for digit. It's not going to be a string, it's going to be a digit because we want to get an actual number from them, not just one digit, it could be multiple digits, like the number 1000 or something, but we still use d. So it'll replace the value of num into the %d. And I'm actually going to have a little bit of a problem because input always gives a string, so I have to convert it to a number, or what we say is integer. Got to convert what they type into an integer and save it as num, and then use it in the print. So when we run it, Josh, and then I'll just choose a number, and then there it is in the print. I like the number 2435 also. Because it's an actual integer, you could do things like num equals num times 2 or whatever to modify the number, which you could not do if it was just a string. You can't multiply or add to or whatever to a word. So that's the basic rundown of input and output. You've got the input command, and when you have the input command, you always want to save the result. Otherwise, why did you do the input command if you don't need the result? So put the result on the left side of variable name. You can convert an input into a number by using int. Int converts what you type into numbers. And then since it's numbers at that point, this is an integer, you can do math with it. And here are two kinds of prints where one of them put a string in a certain position and the other one put digits in a certain position. And in the string, the actual data we put in that position was x, which is what their name is. And in this case, the number we put in that position was their favorite number.